Hi and welcome to Bike Social by Bennett's. We're here in Spain for the launch of the new Yamaha YZF-R125 and the new YZF-R3. Now these bikes sit well in the range from beginner, obviously, right up to the R1 and the R1M. As a launching pad, this YZF-R125 it's always been an extremely popular beginner's bike. But for 2019, it gets variable valve activation, VVA. Now what that means is you've got a low lift and a high lift cam. At 7,400 RPM, the high lift cam comes into effect and it gives a more even spread of torque throughout the range. So rather than the engine trying to be peaky at the top or having more low down, it's got this good spread. Now combined with re-gearing on the rear sprocket, a larger rear sprocket, it's really got some punch. Now I've found sometimes I'm about 85 kilos and 5'10", so I'm a big-ish rider for one of these. You know, I'm not the typical 17-year-old buyer, but I've sometimes found some 125s to be a little bit intimidating. What I meant to say was that it's intimidating being on a 125 sometimes because of the other traffic, because of the lack of speed. This thing's amazing. We've just got back from riding it down motorways, and granted we were slipstreaming, things got a little bit silly, but you can get some good speeds on this. The main thing is though, you can pull yourself out of trouble very easily. You can really get bags of drive here. Obviously you've got 14.75 brake horsepower, which comes in at 9,000 RPM. You know, it comes in earlier than its competitors. It also makes 9.15 pound-foot of torque at 8,000 RPM, but remember you've got that spread of torque right way through. And it really does work. You know, this is a bike that for a youngster travelling between villages or somebody older who just wants something small and light. At 142 kilograms, this thing is, as you'd expect, very light, but it doesn't feel light and cheap, and it doesn't feel small. For somebody my size, it still feels like a decent sized bike, and on track where we took it, hell of a lot of fun. Honestly, if you're looking at a first bike especially, the 125 is fantastic. Now, a step up from that, if you're moving on to your A2 licence, would be the new R3. Really, this is generally cosmetic changes for 2019. You've got upside down forks, which obviously give more rigidity and less unsprung mass, but it is, otherwise the chassis and the engine remain pretty much unchanged. It's a great bike, it's very unintimidating, it's very easy going. I've got to say, as a step up from the 125, it doesn't feel as much as a sports machine, but as an easy going 300, you know, it's a good bike. What I find lets it down is its brakes. You've got a radially mounted 4-piston caliper on the 125, step off that onto the R3 and you go down to a standard 2-piston sliding caliper. And 2-finger braking really is pretty much out of the question if you're going hard. So it's not the sports machine that would sit as you'd expect between a 125 and say the R6, but as a really beautifully finished, very well built bike. Excellent piece of kit. Comfort as well. Both of these bikes actually on the motorways have been brilliant. No buffeting, good speed out of the 125, really easy speed out of the R3. No problems with speed with that. They both handle very confidently, both on track, which is very small, almost a go-kart track really, both on track and on the road, fast turns, twisty back roads. They're completely stable, yet really nimble. There's none of that light, twitchy feeling that you might expect of something small and light, especially with somebody a bit bigger like me. You can read the full reviews at bikesocial.co.uk, where we'll have the full spec, all the information and the top speeds we got out of them. We'll see you soon.